The chart off to my right, which I am sharing with you, represents a test called the Stroop test. Now, the Stroop test is basically in regard to processing speed. For example, if I was to show you a word yellow, but that word yellow was a different color, was blue, how fast you recognize that difference may result in your processing speed score. Now, what is truly amazing about this particular test, yeah, you see the benefit in regard to lion's mane, and often too we'll see referred to in this study as Hericium erinaceus, the scientific name for lion's mane mushroom. But look at below, look on the x-axis, the bottom part there. You see 0 to 60 minutes. Now this result was obtained in 60 minutes with a single dose of lion's mane, Hericium erinaceus. Now that is pretty spectacular. Day 1, single dose, acute dose of lion's mane result in that benefit in reference to the Stroop test. Now, other tests were done, and the researchers here want to basically elucidate those that had statistical significance. How many supplements would you expect to see results within, I'd say, an hour after consumption? That is pretty spectacular. Now, let's go to the next chart itself. Now, this is called the Visual Analog Scale, VAS. And this is basically, if you're familiar with discrete variables or continuous variables, this is generally often a visual analog scale would be like asking you, how do you feel stress-wise on a scale of 1 to 100? 100 being a lot of stress, 1 being very little stress. Now, at day 29, you see the test, even though I think that in the study it said it went 28 days. Look at the benefit. That is pretty spectacular overall. So you have this incredible effect where you have a rapid effect per se, or correlation, in regard to processing speed. And at the same time, through chronic, what they would call, you'll see chronic consumption. It was 1.8 grams per day of Hericium erinaceus, lion's mane, to reduce the visual analog scale in reference to stress after that period of time within, let's say, a month. Make it easy. That is pretty spectacular. Now, let's get right into the details of the research itself, methodology, and some highlights which you wouldn't normally see in regard to Hericium erinaceus, lion's mane, which is referred to as lion's mane throughout the rest of the study, that you wouldn't expect to see, which is quite intriguing. So let me share with you right now. Let's get right into the study as follows. And a lot of you may drop off at this point. That's fine, but still, trust but validate. And here we validate what the researchers present to you and I. To proceed, the acute and chronic effects of lion's mane mushroom supplementation on cognitive function, stress, and mood in young adults. A double-blind, parallel group pilot study of Hericium erinaceus. The medicinal properties of lion's mane include antioxidant, antimicrobial, and anti-cancer effects. Recently, interest has been placed on potential neuroprotective and neuroregenerative properties of lion's mane because they found out too it easily crosses the blood-brain barrier. Therefore, when we looked at the Stroop test in the beginning, which could help explain the rapid effect or results. Again, observation as well, we read through the study, is important, and it's very easy for it to interject something called publisher bias, which is an opinion which may differ than what the researchers had. So it's important we stick with the trueness of the research itself. To proceed, the highlights. Preliminary research observed improvements in scores of mild cognitive impairment in 50 to 80-year-old adults following 16 weeks. Now, we're looking at other studies outside of this one here. This gives you the backstory as to why they want to do this. But it's important, too, to give you additional dimensions to the effects of lion's mane itself in other studies. At 3 grams a day of lion mane supplementation, this improvement was observed throughout the trial period as assessment during 8, 12, and 16 weeks, but not at the follow-up observation at 4 weeks of treatment cessation. Why is that important? Why would I bring that up as a highlight? because it shows you generally that the placebo effect may not take place here because the effect generally wore off pretty rapidly after they stopped supplementing with lion's mane. To proceed, suggests that prolonged supplementation may be necessary to exert beneficial effects. Move forward. Another part of the backstory. It is important to understand if lion's mane could be employed before cognitive impairment and exert similar cognition-enhancing effects in healthy, cognitively intact individuals. So the researchers here want to look at something that may have a neuroprotective effect, or i.e. a neuroregenerative effect, in healthy individuals. So to maintain healthy years, as opposed to waiting to an adversity or challenge should occur and then trying to reverse it. To proceed, additional trials suggest a mood-enhancing effect of lion's mane with lower depression and anxiety scores observed in menopausal women following 4 weeks of supplementation with lion's mane containing cookies. It's kind of interesting how they could actually add it to food. So you're not really even looking at it as a supplement per se. You may be looking at, well, a supplement it is, but a food ingredient as well. 4 consumed each day with a half a gram of powdered fruiting body. So just to give you an idea. Similar reductions in depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders were observed in overweight and obese adults following 8 weeks. I'm just looking for redundancy in the study itself, and so are the researchers. At 550 milligrams of lion's mane, gives you the breakdown, supplementation in combination with the low-calorie diet. So the researchers are saying, hey, there's something here. There's gold in this mushroom. So they want to proceed further. Let's try with healthy individuals and see what results may appear. To proceed, the method of the study. The treatment regimen consisted of taking 3 white vegetarian capsules daily, with each capsule containing either placebo or 600 milligrams of lion's mane mushroom. Henceforth, double-blind parallel group study. To proceed, the first and last doses of the 28 treatment plan were administered under laboratory supervision, while the intermediate doses were self-administered at home, 1.8 grams. Now, remember when we looked at the visual analog scale, how it went to 29 days? Well, 28 days supplementation, 29 days, they looked at the results, and henceforth, that discrete variable, i.e., as also says I felt 6.7 points better, so if it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where the amazing results proceeded. Now let's go to the discussion. The current pilot trial explored the effects of Hericium, erinaceus on cognitive function and mood, lion's mane, in young, healthy adults. Expanding on limited research to date, the trial assessed following a single 1.8 gram dose, so 3 600 milligram capsules at once, healthy individuals with no cognitive challenges, of lion's mane, and again following 28 days of supplementation. The results of the trial indicated that the following single dose of lion's mane, participants performed significantly quicker on the Stroop test, is yellow yellow, is yellow blue, so on and so forth. Additionally, a potential stress-reducing effect was observed following the 28 days supplementation, the visual analog scale, with a trend toward reduction in subjective stress in the lion's mane group, both in the comparison to the placebo and day 1. Now here is the highlight I wanted to bring up. This was an animal model. And again, without crossing that line of publisher bias, I found quite interesting. Here in the restraint stressed chronic administration of 400 milligrams a kilogram of lion's mane mycelium extract restored depleted expression levels of dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. So I just found that interesting, so I'm going to pull that highlight out for you. In the animal model, those were some of the results that basically showed. To proceed, in conclusion, this pilot trial tentatively suggests that lion's mane may improve speed of performance and exert a stress reduction effect. However, it is crucial that further investigation is conducted employing larger sample sizes. Despite this, the key advantage of this trial is that novel findings can be used in development of supplemental trials to further investigate the effects of lion's mane on cognitive function, mood, and well-being. The research field to date is still within its infancy, and findings from this trial offer a promising avenue of interest, and further work is encouraged in this area. So, think about it this way. If you had a test, a stressful event, something that required fast processing speed, what else can you basically take supplementary? that's not necessarily a stimulant, where generally you can increase that processing speed. That's what the researchers are looking at. So you have something where someone takes a single dose, in this case 1.8 grams, of lion's mane, and 60 minutes later, the processing speed may be improved. That is pretty spectacular. And again, the researchers here are looking at what happens when administered to healthy individuals, so it can help keep them healthy over the long term. Pretty amazing stuff. I'd like to see greater research and expanded larger trials, as they indicated as well, but you've got to admit it's fascinating. And as always, you got to understand you have to have a lot of gratitude to these researchers, because you want to keep on encouraging research like this, which basically yields you greater freedom of independence in your own life or lives of others that you may care for as well. Again, gratitude. I am humbled you watch, and I look forward to see what you and I share next week. Catch you next time. Bye.